plaintiff, Carol Linnell, was married to the defendant, but after their son passed away soon after his birth, they drifted apart, despite the fact that they had 3 more children. Carol is suing her ex-husband for the cost of a car. Defendant Chris Townsell says the reason he and Carol divorced was because one day, out of the blue, she told him she was no longer in love with him. Chris denies owing Carol for anything.
Start with you.
Chris Townsell and we met back in 1994. Had a whirlwind romance before we got engaged and married in 95. We were both quite young. And then in 96, our oldest son passed away. We did go on to have 3 beautiful, healthy children, but unfortunately, because we were young, did not know how to handle the death of our son prematurely. We had a division in our marriage that we ended up separating and divorcing. We separated, I think around 2001 and divorced in 2002.
Why don't you give me some background?
Well, yeah, we actually met through a friend of mine that was dating her. I really liked her, so I asked him if I could ask her out. He said, okay.
You did ask?
Yeah, I did ask beforehand. I was polite and a gentleman.
All right. That's all I say is just if it's your buddy, ask him.
Exactly. So we started dating. Everything was great. We had a good relationship. We traveled a lot, and we got along great. We got married about 1.5 years later, and as has been covered, our oldest son passed away. You know, we went on with our marriage, had 3 great children that are all healthy, that are healthy and happy. And 2001 is actually after we left a wedding of a friend of ours that in the car she told me she didn't love me anymore on the way home from the wedding. So the next day, as a hardhead, I moved out and probably shouldn't have done that.
Did you ask her why she didn't love you anymore?
There wasn't really a good answer. There was no defining moment really in any of this. I think it just built up over time.
Okay.
So, you know, I went through my grieving process, and she, 4 or 5 months later, she started dating someone else. No big deal. Here we are.
Okay. And tell me how he owes for a car, ma'am.
Your Honor, back in April of 2016, like our 2 older children, I bought our 3rd child a car, right before her 16th birthday. I told them to go ahead and start looking. They went immediately, found one immediately, and they called me that evening. I talked to the salesman at the dealership, explained that I would be more than happy to go and make a direct deposit into his checking account for the exact amount for the purchase of the car.
Let's see it, please.
There's a copy of the canceled check in my bank statement.
Okay. What happened?
The dealership explained since I could not be there at the time of the purchase, I could not title the car in my name. And I explained that was fine. He was her father. I didn't mind it being in his name. Several months later, had some hiccups on the car. I paid for some repairs on the car to get some, minor things fixed on it. But on July 28th of 2017, my daughter called me hysterical, crying, and saying that her car had been towed away. I asked her, where did she park it illegally? Did she have any tickets? No, it was in their driveway at the home. Bells and whistles and alarms went off in my head. Nobody should be towing that car, without a cause, and only cause I could see was there was a loan taken out on this car. I did contact the local police department, found out that there was a judgment against him to repossess the car that I bought for our daughter. I called my daughter, said, this is what happened. She's like, I'll pay to have it towed home. I said, honey, it's more than that. It's nothing we can just fix. He denied it. He denied he got a loan on the car.
Got it.
And his ex called me. She sent me copies of the repossessed letter from Title Max showing that certified mail, that the reason why the car was towed was due to a loan that he took out.
Okay. Let me hear from you, sir. Let me see your evidence.
First off, she bought the car in August of 2017.
April.
Shortly before my daughter didn't even turn 16 until
July.
July 31st, didn't get her license until September. The car, a few months after that, started breaking down. Carol did do a repair on it, or got a repair taken care of. But about 6 months after that, the head gasket was blown on the car. Car wasn't drivable anymore. I did sell it, did not put a loan on it. And after I sold it, less than a month later, I bought my daughter a 2013 Nissan that I'm still paying for now. And I have that buyer's order if you want to see that.
Well, I'm looking at where you did put a loan on. You have a contract here.
According to the
Your
title company.
Honor,
Hold on.
According to when I dealt with the title company, it was not a loan. It was selling the car.
We have served as the credit service organization arranging and servicing your above reference loan agreement because you broke your promise by failing to pay. Lender demanded payment from us. We paid the lender on your behalf. Under the loan agreement, you are now in default.
I've never seen those papers, was never served with those papers.
All right. Any defense other than you never seen that?
I have not seen this, and looking at the date, I was actually at work in California when this
Sir,
came
you
in.
said you never had a loan. They're not lying on you. Judgment for the plaintiff, $5,000. Have a good day.
thank you, Your Honor. I'm sorry it came down to this, but I had to do it to protect Sammy and make sure that she's not without a car again. She's about to go off to college. She's about to go off to college. She needs security and knowing
She
she's got
has one that
Yeah,
I
but
bought
it's
her
in
over
your
a year
name. It's in your name.
Well, I'm paying for it unless you want to pay the $13,000 for it. You're more than welcome
We
to.
can't bounce back and forth who owns that car. That's in yours. And I mean, we can take care of that. But, you know, that's why I'm here. I wanted to protect Samantha.
Gotcha.
Okay?